All right, welcome to another exciting episode of the Contractor Business Builder podcast. We have the honor of hosting Susan Smith. She's the founder and principal of Just for Contractors. We're going to be learning a lot of things about marketing, websites, how to generate more leads for your business. Thanks so much for coming on, Susan. How are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. Thanks for having me. This is exciting.
Definitely, I'm looking forward to picking your brain a little bit about websites and some of the things you do. So, can you tell us a little bit about your background and the idea behind Just for Contractors?
Okay. Well, I've been doing websites and marketing since 2008 when I went back to school for web design. And I started really concentrating on contractors because I know them really well. I have three boys that are all in the trades. I have a plumber, an electrician, and a home builder. And my husband is also in the trades. He's a tool and die maker. And my father owned his own business for tool and die as well. So I've grown up with it and I live with it. So I know them really well. I know what they need. And what I was seeing outside for their websites and everything, they were terrible. They weren't very good. They let them slide. They're outdated and they need the most help because they're busy. They can't concentrate on websites or anything. They have their business to run.
Definitely. Yeah. Very important, service. And I think every contractor greatly appreciates having someone who can handle the marketing tech side of things, getting websites set up. And it's also, I love how it's very important that you actually have a background. You've been around tradespeople. Your sons are tradespeople and contractors. And it's a unique world. And I think when you can bring that experience and knowledge and then, tie it in with the technology side of things, you can produce much better results, for clients. As far as like websites, having a well-designed website, how does that help, attract the right clients or high quality clients? I think every contractor out there wants, a certain type of client or ideal client, certain level of quality. How does the website help facilitate that?
It helps in a lot of ways because clients are coming, they're searching online. And if you have a really well-designed website, they might choose you over somebody else because it's designed better, it looks nicer, it shows that you actually care about your business and that it just shows a professionalism that you have. And that would convey to any potential clients that you might have. Having a well-designed website also helps with the search visibility. So if it's designed properly, you have all of your keywords in there and all of the back end stuff that you don't see on the website with the keywords and everything else. It helps you become more visible for the search engines like Google. It highlights your company by having a nice portfolio. It shows the potential client your work and what kind of work you do. So it also helps them choose you over maybe somebody else. But also having a well-designed website, like if you're trying to attract workers, they also look at your website because that will also show them that you care about your business and that you're not some fly in the fly-by-night type company, that you're there.
Yeah, it really works on a number of different levels. And, even like obviously the search is very important to bring in, kind of cold leads, if you will, people that maybe don't know your business that well. But even people that are referred, like if you have a lot of referral business, people that don't know you, even if they're referred through a friend, they're still going to go to your website. They're still going to check you out online, read reviews, look at your work to see and they're going to be checking boxes essentially is how I look at it. Do they look professional? They have a nice website. Have they done work that like similar work that I want my, to get done? So the more kind of quality information that you can have out there, the easier it will be for people to seek you out for your services, no matter, kind of where they come from and where they use. And I love how you said about employees as well, because clients are important, but the other part of a really great business is having good A-player quality people as well. And good people want to work with good companies. They're going to be attracted to a company that has their stuff together, that looks professional, that again does high quality work. And if your website's not showcasing that, they may be a little hesitant to go with you as opposed to maybe getting hired on with a more together or higher quality company. So
100%, that's true. It's also a good idea to have a company culture page to let them know what your company culture is all about, because that'll also help them decide on whether they want to work with you or for you or not.
Yeah. For sure. Can you walk us through maybe some of the mechanics or dynamics of how a website converts leads into long-term clients, or what's a normal kind of journey for someone visiting a website to actually have them, search or find the website to, making the call and becoming a client?
Yeah. Okay. So if they found you online, whether it's through a referral or through Google or whatever else, what you
Mhm.
need to do is have a really nice, clean looking website that's really easy to navigate and easy to find stuff. Because if they're searching for what they're looking for and they can't find it,
Yeah.
they're out of there. If it's really slow to load, people have the attention span of less than a goldfish, which is, I think, 3 seconds. So if your page or website hasn't loaded in like quickly enough, they'll
Mhm.
head off and they'll find somebody else.
Yep.
They don't have the patience to wait for your website to load. So it needs to be really quick loading. You need to have a really good, clear call to action. So have your phone number front and center, like have it at the top. So it's easy to find because you want them to be able to call you. And on mobile, especially, you want that button to be able to, they can click on it and it directly calls you. So contact information front and center, calls to action, whether to fill out a quote, a form for a quote, or even an email list, because you might
Yep.
want that at some point. You need to have trust signals, so testimonials. You need to have testimonials on your website as well. If you're
Mhm.
coming to the home page, they want to see that you have been doing great work and they want to see what people are saying about you. So having that on your website is really important. You also need it to be optimized for the local SEO because most contractors work locally. So
Yeah.
if you're working in a small town and surrounding areas, you want to have those areas on your website, service areas that you look after, because that will also help with the search engine optimization, but it also lets them know that you work in their particular area.
Yep.
But I think the most important things are having really mobile friendly, fast loading, because it's over 70% that come through on mobile now
Yeah.
doing
Hmm.
searches, and you
Yep.
want them to be able to call you. Not having your information on your website, I've seen that a lot. And
Hmm.
they have to go searching for it. No patience. They're gone. They're going to look for competition.
Yeah, you want to make it easy and for them to contact you, but also easy to figure out how to contact you with those call to actions and be encouraging them to reach out and things like that. Two things I want to dive into. As far as like the reviews and testimonials, the social proof, very important on a website. How would you display that, or how do you find like technically how would you put that on the website, and then how many reviews would you like to see on a typical website for a contractor?
As many as possible.
Yeah. Hmm.
Because when you're talking about reviews, people go to your Google business profile. So they're searching you and they're looking at those reviews. And if you have one review,
Hmm.
and your competition has 20 or 30, your
Hmm.
one review might be 5, theirs might be 4.5. They're still going to go to the
Yeah.
competition because they have more reviews. So with Google, there are widgets that you can throw on your website showing those reviews. So
Mm.
I would have that on your homepage, front and
Yep.
center, showing the reviews that you got from Google. But I would also have some kind of automation set in place to ask for reviews after you've done work for a client and you know you've done good work for them. And you can probably put that in an automation because not everyone answers the first email for the review. So maybe you might want to send a second and third one. And if you put it into an
Yeah.
automation, you can just leave it,
Hmm.
let it run its course. But those are so important to have.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, you can get a link from Google for your profile and people just click it and it'll open up, write a
Yeah.
review. It's right into Google and everything. So it's super easy.
Yeah.
What
But
I
you
found
need to,
effective,
sorry,
go
you
ahead.
need to have a Google business profile. So you need to actually claim it and optimize it
Yeah.
for the links and stuff that you can
Yeah,
send
definitely.
in.
And yeah, those reviews are so important and money in the bank. If you've done great work for a client, then by all means, make sure you're reaching out and encouraging them to write reviews. And just as like a sales process or anything else, sometimes the first time people are busy, especially after the service is completed, they're maybe moving in or they're enjoying their new place or they've got family stuff coming up. So if they, you have to sometimes follow up with them for reviews a couple times before they can go ahead with it. I find find the best thing is typically to ask them in person if they're good with writing a quick review or
Yes.
something like that. That way they have buy-in, they've, told you, they've confirmed that they want to, and then it's just a matter of, giving them the easy tools to be able to do that. The other thing you mentioned there was the form on your, usually a contact us page. Sometimes you might have the form embedded in, the one of the main pages. How do you set up a form? What, like, besides obviously that you have their contact information, what other fields might be on a good form, or how does the form integrate in a website?
I guess it's depending on what you're trying to get. Like if it's a regular contact form, then you might ask for where they're located and what kind of work that they're looking to do. If
Yep.
it's a request a quote, you'll obviously need to have more information based on that, because I think since the pandemic, a lot of people have been doing more quotes virtually than going in person.
Mm.
I'm thinking that's changing a bit again, but
Yep.
I think it all depends on what you need from them in order to be able to do that. As for going back to the testimonials and stuff, having a business card or a card with a QR code on it where it just takes you to write the testimonials is also a good idea, because they can just scan that and it takes you right to their page, and
Yeah.
sometimes that's easier as well.
Yeah, definitely bringing the physical real world tied in with the digital QR codes are great for that. And yeah, definitely have it on your business card, because, that card's probably going to get tossed about within a couple minutes of them receiving it, if not the next day. So not to be people holding on to business cards too long, but if they can get your information quickly from a QR code, or see your reviews or whatever, then
Yeah.
it just streamlines the process. What are some common mistakes that you see contractors making? Maybe they've had a website for a while, it's old, outdated, or just even with their online presence. What are some common mistakes that
Um,
contractors
there's
can
a
make?
few. One of them is not having one at all. There's a lot
Yeah.
out there that don't have websites.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the older group, they
Yeah.
don't seem to think that they need one, because
Mm-hmm.
they have enough business, enough referrals, and everything else. Some of the biggest problems are neglecting your website.
Mm-hmm.
So it's outdated, doesn't load quickly, it
Yeah.
takes too long, and it looks dated. So people are going to think maybe you're ignoring your business, or maybe you're not in business anymore. Not having it mobile optimized is a huge problem. Not having contact information where you can find it, or inconsistent. I've seen different phone numbers, different addresses
Mm-hmm.
from a Google business profile to their website. Not having proper search engine optimization, no calls to action, no phone numbers. Those are the biggest
Yeah.
ones. Even not having any social media buttons on there,
Okay.
like taking
Mm-hmm.
them to their social media profiles. I think outdated and mobile optimization, like for mobile and calls to action, those are probably the three most important ones right there.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said earlier, about 70% people are going to find you on a mobile device. So as good as your website might look on your desktop, it's probably not how people are actually seeing your website. They're seeing it on their phone. So that's really where you want to make sure everything is looking properly, and you have those call to actions and all those other elements that you mentioned. You talked about your SEO presence, and you mentioned like having different contact information, different places, and Google often, when it looks at your business or your business name, is looking for consistencies, and that kind of builds the trust that Google has in portraying your information, stuff like that. Beyond that, what do you suggest as far as like local SEO that contractors can do with their website, or listings, or social, or how can they improve their local SEOs for online visibility?
That's a loaded
I know it's a
question.
big question. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's huge because there's a lot involved with getting the local SEO up. A lot of it's in the back end. So if you have images on your website, you kind of want to have some of your keywords in the images,
Hmm.
whether it's a location, bathroom renovation, Barrie, Ontario. So you want to have your images labeled. Location pages help. They can't all be the same. Google doesn't like that. They hate when you have your location page and all of the information is exactly the same except for the location. It all has to be different.
Okay.
And just your content, it has to have your keywords in there. So whatever your service is, like have your service pages. That helps a lot
Yeah.
as well,
Hmm.
because maybe you just don't do bathrooms, you do kitchens, bathrooms, whole homes renovations, you want to have a page for each of your services, and you want to
Yep.
have the keywords in that so you're found easier as well. What else is there? Yeah, there's a even the the way your page is set up also has to be proper, like with your headings. You want to
Mhm.
have the keywords in your headings for each section. You want to
Yeah.
have the keywords in the content in there. Yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
and there's descriptions that go into Google that you want to have each page to have. And even
Yeah.
the name of your page titles have to be keyworded for Google search.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
there's a
yeah,
lot.
definitely.
That's just a
Yeah,
few.
I like what you, yeah, for sure. A lot of technical stuff like behind the scenes that you got to get into your website, which is definitely like you can do it yourself, but much better to hire a professional that can set that up for you and get it done. I did like how you said with the different service pages where maybe people in your area are searching, like you said, maybe they want their kitchen done or their bathroom done or their basement or their whole home or house or custom home or granny suite or whatever, right? So having specific service pages for those, they will be much more likely if they're searching for something specific, a certain type of renovation or service or certain even trades work, like a certain type of, trades work, to have your different service pages so that they find those pages and those will rank higher than just a general page kind of for everything.
Yeah, and it has to be quality content too. It can't just
Mhm.
be thrown in there, a couple lines here and there. You have to have actual quality content
Mhm.
because that weighs heavily with the search engines as well.
Yeah, the more
Because
time
Google will
someone.
refer you over somebody else if you have quality content and they just have maybe pictures or brief descriptions. They want to see the content in there as well.
Mhm. Yeah, Google's keeping track of how long people are on the page, how they're scrolling, what they're clicking on. So the more time someone spends on your website, generally, the better Google is going to want to show it to other people because it's saying, hey, this person was interested in kitchen renovations. They clicked on this site, and they spent an hour, and then they filled out the form or whatever. That's going to rank higher than someone who's like, oh, they click through, and then 10 seconds later they went to another website. So it's
Yeah.
Google's kind of always looking at that as a metric.
Yeah,
As
and
far as
their algorithms change constantly, so you just have to keep up with that too.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. It's very common in construction to have a bit of the feast and famine. There's cycles, whether that's economical or definitely seasonal cycles, and even just cycles of business. What are some ways or some tips that you would have as far as like how contractors can kind of even out their lead flow or kind of avoid that feast and famine cycle?
Yeah, they should be investing in local SEO to get that up and running properly because that'll help with the search engines.
Mm.
Running Google ads are
Yep.
huge. So
Mm.
and you can't just stop them. Like I know there's paving companies out there that run from April until November and then they kind of shut down for the winter. But you still
Okay.
should be running Google ads because all of that momentum that you've built up during the spring and summer, if you
Mm.
just stop it all of a sudden, you're going to use or lose all of that momentum that you've gained. So you can just reduce it to the absolute minimum to run the ads and stuff, but you want to keep that running. It's Google ads are really good for getting in clients quickly, but you also need to have that run properly because you can't just take them to the website. If you're running a Google ad for kitchen renovations, you need to have a page dedicated to kitchen renovations so you can send them to that page. So,
Yes.
yeah, invest in local SEO, run Google ads, past clients, nurture past clients, get in touch with them.
Mhm.
See how they're doing, if there's anything that they might need. Maybe you can offer some kind of gift card or discount to any client that refers you to somebody else. Those are, yeah, social media, just post stuff on social media. And just those are probably the main ways of being able to keep consistent clients
Yeah.
coming in or
Yeah,
potential
those are
clients.
huge. I think the overall what I'm gathering there is that if you want, consistent leads and projects and revenues, you need to have consistent marketing. You don't want to be turning it off. I know things can get super busy, spring, summer, or what have you. You have to stay consistent with your marketing plan. Continue to, if you're doing social media, continue to put out regular social media. If you're doing ads, continue to do regular ads. Even if, you have a lot of leads or not too many leads, the consistency of marketing should always stay the same as far as as your activities and your investment. And the leads will fluctuate, but if you're doing some things inconsistently or turning things on and off, it's just going to accelerate those dips and highs as far as leads and things like that.
Yes. Also, when the market is down and people are worried about their jobs and everything else, the first thing that people tend to turn off is the marketing. And that's the one thing that you should actually keep going, because there are still people out there looking. So if everyone's turning off all of their marketing ads and everything else, and yours are still showing up, guess who's going to get that job? So
Mhm.
by trying to save money, you're actually probably going to lose money because you've turned off any potential of finding another client.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And you want to give the marketing a long enough period of time to actually be effective as well. If you just turn something on like ads for a month or two and you're not seeing results, or maybe leads start to die down from a certain avenue, you want to double down on what's working, but also you don't want to just stop something because you feel it's not working and you actually haven't given it enough time to be effective.
Yeah. Well, with local SEO, this is a time-consuming thing. It doesn't happen overnight. You need at least a good
Mhm.
6 months before that starts working.
Yeah.
Google Ads are a little bit quicker,
Mhm.
but it also depends on your competition that's out there as well. So
Yeah.
if you have really good competition, then it's going to take a little bit before it starts working. And then it boils down to the testimonials and stuff too, because people will be looking at that. So you really,
Mhm.
it's kind of like, it's a vicious cycle. You need this for this and this and this to all work. So
Yeah,
it,
it all kind of works together
it
and
does.
is part of a larger picture as far as like a marketing and branding ecosystem or, machine, someone would call, marketing machine, things like that. I really like what you said about connecting with your past clients as well. So there, especially contracting, sometimes we could feel that we've done a work for someone, we renovated their house, they're probably not going to renovate for another 20 years or 10 years or, that they may not have, a reoccurring service, but the lifetime value of a client is not just the money they may spend with your business. It's also their friends, their family, their coworkers, other people that they could possibly refer that are looking for your service. And if you just sort of do a service and put cash the check and kind of move on, you're leaving a lot of money on the table and you're doing a disservice to your clients because they've may forgot about you or you're not nurturing them with, some email campaigns or even just follow-up calls. Call them 6 months, a year later. Are you still happy with, your kitchen renovation you did? Hey, it's been 4 years since we did some work for you. Is everything still in place? How's the kids? How's, this or whatever? Just touch in. It doesn't have to be anything super personal or super long, but 10-15 minute call every 6 months or 1 year just to stay in touch with clients can produce a wealth of referrals and just build relationships. And business is really about building strong relationships, and that's a big part of it.
It is definitely. It's really hard to find a good contractor. And so if you let them go and yeah, you do need to keep in contact with them. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Hmm.
Once a
Definitely.
year, 6 months, like just having an email sent out every once in a while to see how they're doing.
Hmm.
All's
Yeah.
better. Email.
Yeah, just have those touch points, check-ins. You don't want to be like pestering them like every month or anything like that,
No,
but do follow up and check in and just see how they're doing and come from a place of caring and just wanting to get to know them. Can you walk us through a success story of a client of yours that you've worked with, maybe some of the things you did or how you built their website and some of the results that they got?
yeah. I had this one client. I love working with him. He's great.
Yeah.
He had a website that was done fairly well, but it was looking a little bit outdated. So we redesigned it, made it a little bit more modern. And he had been doing Google Ads at one point, but he stopped them because he
Okay.
had a lot of business. He was doing really well. And then all of a sudden, a bit of a recession hit, clients dried up, and he calls me and he said, Susan, you got to do something. You got to get some Google Ads. I'm going to go out of business if you don't hurry up and do something for me.
Yeah.
So we redesigned some of the pages, created some Google ads to go to these pages for him, and his ROI increased by over 300% because of these
Wow.
Google ads that we started running for him.
Hmm.
And I've been trying to call him for the last couple of months, and he says, "Sorry, I'm too busy." So
Yeah.
I guess
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
a good thing, but yeah,
Yeah.
I've just been trying to touch base because he
Hmm.
wanted to start something else. He wanted to do Google Ads for this one particular project, and we haven't been able to get down to sit down to do it because he's just been too busy.
Yeah, good problem to have, especially from
Yeah,
a marketing standpoint of helping with the marketing. And very cool how you're able to kind of come in and save the day with, having a shortage of leads to having to going to having an abundance of leads
he had
and
no
how that works.
leads.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I
that's a
gave
very
him some of the
scary place to
ideas of
be.
going back to
Mhm.
past customers and clients. And
Yeah.
I said, talk to them, see if there's anything going on with them. In the
Mhm.
meantime, we'll start on these ads and get them rolling. So
Yeah, 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 definitely. Any contractor that's been in that place, it's a scary place to be, and I'm glad that he was able to get some help from you and bring in some more work for our listeners out there, viewers. What's the best way for them to connect with you if they want to learn more about your services or about how you can build websites for them or things like that?
the best way is to just book a call with me on my website. They can go to my
Yeah.
website, justforcontractors.ca.
Mhm.
I think on just about every page, there's a way of contacting me to book a call.
Yep.
I find it
Mhm.
easier to talk to them rather than just doing the email thing, or they can call me directly. My phone number's on the website as well. I just find it easier if they book a call because they tend to be quite busy. So if we
Yeah.
put time aside to actually discuss things,
Mhm.
it's good.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Get a meeting booked on the get it on the schedule and reach out to Susan here. Go check out her website. We'll put links in the description of this video or audio wherever you're watching or listening to this. So click through there. Go check out the services there. Any final words of wisdom or last kind of points you wanted to mention?
just I guess the main points are is have a website, have a good website that loads quickly, is optimized for your local SEO, and have a Google business profile because those testimonials mean a lot to
Mhm.
construction, like anybody in the trades. It'll help people pick you over somebody else if you have more and better reviews. And also, if you do get Google testimonials, answer them, whether they're good or bad.
Yes.
Just
Mhm.
answer them. Say thank you and put in keywords with that too. We really
Mhm.
enjoyed working with Barry's a beautiful town, or yeah, put a couple of keywords in there, not contrived or silly
Mhm.
sounding, but just get
Yeah.
them in there. And if they leave a bad review,
Mhm.
apologize if needed, and take it
Yeah.
offline. You,
Mm.
you
Yeah.
don't want to have a war on Google testimonials.
Yeah.
But be
Nobody wants to
polite.
see that string of nine different replies back and forth.
No, no. So take it offline, but apologize. And if it was like you do get the odd client that wasn't a client, and you have to mention that because sometimes cagey things can happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic advice with replying to the reviews. And you can also coach your clients a little bit too when you're asking for reviews with you don't have to ask them to put in keywords and stuff like that, but to ask
No,
them to just be a little bit more descriptive than they did great work or they were really nice or something like that. Just ask them, okay, do you mind just mentioning, some of the work we did? So yeah, they came, they redesigned our kitchen, they put in new countertops and they were really great to work with for updating our home or something, just like a little bit more than just they were great kind of review, which
yeah,
any review is good, but you can preload it a little bit and just let them know, hey, if you don't mind just making at least a couple of sentences and talking a little bit about the specific service or work that we did, can
yeah.
really go a long way.
Oh,
Right on.
definitely. Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for coming on here, Susan. Really appreciate you sharing your advice and knowledge with us. It was really a wonderful episode.
Oh, thanks for having me. This was fun. I really enjoyed it.